Okay, today we will start discussing about the concept of serialization in Java. Right? So, do you know anything about serialization? Have you done any research on this, or you are going to hear it for the first time? Any research on this?
First time.
First time. Okay, no worries. I will keep the topic very simple and realistic. Okay. So let us first try to read the definition. So, according to the Java documentary, the serialization in Java is the process of converting an object state into a byte stream so that it can be stored in a file or database or sent over the network. We don't really understand this. Let me copy and paste it over here. I will give the justification for this definition. Okay. It's a process of converting an object state. So before understanding this line, okay, so we know how to create an object, isn't it? For example, let us say that I have a class student. I'm taking a class student. I am assuming that student has two attributes. Okay, for now, student has a name. Okay, let me also initialize the value and student has the age. Let us say that 24, right? So this is the student. This is a student class. So how can I create object for this? When I say the object creation, I can say student s1 equal to new student, right? So because of this line, don't you think that an object will be created in the memory? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
The object will be created, right? So this is an object, and object is going to have the values, isn't it? Values will be there, but the object is going to represent the values that has been initialized for the variable, instance variables. So you have what? You have the name as Balaji, and you have the age as 25. This is very simple and straightforward, isn't it? Okay. So you have name and you have, and this is going to get the reference variable s1. This is s1 reference variable. So object is created successfully. If you see, whenever you are creating an object, there are two things that you have to consider. Two things has to come into your mind whenever you are creating an object. The first thing is state, and the second thing is behavior. Can I say that object has two things? One is state, second one is behavior. State is nothing but the values that are assigned to the instance variables. Are you able to follow? State is nothing but the actual values that are assigned to the instance variables is called a state. Behavior is nothing but the methods which is going to do some manipulations. Now, have you understood about an object is going to have a state as well as behavior? Are you getting this point?
Yes, sir.
Values as well as if there are any methods that is going to be a behavior. Every method is going to behave in its own way, right? So that is called as behavior. But according to the serialization definition, you can see the process of converting an object state, which means are we talking about the values here? We are just talking about the values, right? State means you just consider about the values. Values are nothing but the state of an object. Okay. The process of converting the state of an object. So I am talking about the state. So this is the state. The process of converting the state of an object into a byte stream. These values or this information will be converted to a byte stream. Byte stream is nothing but the machine data, like zeros and ones. Okay. The process of converting the state of an object into a byte stream, then what? Go by definition. State of an object to a byte stream so that it can be either stored in a file or a database or sent over the network. First, we will consider these two things: stored in a file or a database or sent over the network. After converting the state of an object into a byte stream, you can do what? You can send it to a file or the database. Can be a file or the database, or you can send it to the network. Network is nothing but assume that it is an internet. Okay. network. So this is the network. Okay, this is a file. Okay, so all this data will be transmitted or stored inside a file, either inside a file or send it over a network. So that what would happen? Okay, this data will be stored inside a file or network or send over the network. This process I am talking about is called as what? The serialization. We will understand about the benefits of serialization. For now, are you able to get something out of the definition? What is serialization? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Data will be converted to byte stream. Byte stream is nothing but zeros and ones. So how the conversion is happening? These are the internal things. After the conversion, you can store that. You can send it to a file. It can be a file, or if you like, if you want, you can send it to a database. You can send it anywhere. Okay, why we are sending that we will understand, but I'm talking about the mechanism of serialization. Or you can send it to an internet network. The process is called as what? The
It is
serialization.
like a barcode.
Uh, Not like a barcode, a kind of like, for example, like if I am sending you a postal, if I am sending you a letter, or if I am sending you a kind of gift, right? I cannot, for example, if I want to send a fish tank, can I send the fish tank directly? It cannot be carried directly, right? Because it may get broken, right? So what is the way to send it? Even though if I am sending it through a courier, I will be packing and wrapping it in such a way that I will ensure that the I'm maintaining that intact, right? It is going to be safe, right? So the courier is going to take care of that. Courier services are going to ensure that the fish tank is going to remain safe through the transportation, right? Through the transportation.
Yes,
After
sir.
that, okay, and when you receive it, you unpack it, right? Likewise, in Java, the data will be serialized so that it gets lightweighted, serialized in the form of zeros and ones. Very lightweighted. It gets lightweighted, and you put it somewhere. You put it somewhere. It can be in a file or it can be in a database, or you will send over network. This is serialization. And if you want to read that, you want to get it back to the original state, right? We need to do some other thing called deserialization. That we will understand. First of all, try to understand what is serialization. So far, good now. So far, serialization good. Okay. Next thing is now you see, you need to remember one thing. If you want to perform the serialization, okay, the object should be what? The object should be a serialized object. When I say object, so explanation object, it should be a serializable object. How can I make S1 as the serializable object? If you remember in our previous classes, somewhere we have a discussion, right, about to make an object to comparable object. Do you remember that? If I want to make an
Yes, sir.
object as comparable, what we were doing over there is implementing the class to the comparable interface. Yes or no? Right? So
Yes, sir.
to get the serializable eligibility, the object reference should be the object should implement the serializable interface. So what I have to do here, very simple. My class has to implement serializable interface. Are able to follow? Now, if I do this only, the object will be converted to the byte stream. I mean, the state of an object will be converted to the stream of bytes and can be transported over to a network or it can be stored in a file. Making sense, right? Yes, no. Firstly, we will achieve this. First of all, we will try to achieve this. Then we will try to understand the input. So we have just understood about the mechanism. So far, our understanding is very limited to the mechanism. So how I can really do this? How I can really do this? Okay, by theoretically we are able to understand. Programmatically, how we can achieve this? To achieve this programmatically, right? In order to make a connection between my Java object, let me say this is my Java object, and this is my file. Okay? I want to put my Java state of the Java object to my to a file. Okay, so there is a dedicated class called what? File output stream. Let me say this is my student object. Okay, if I want to put this object to the file, any file, there is a dedicated class called file output stream. For now I am keeping it as FOS, right? And there should be a mediator between file output stream and the object. This file output stream cannot talk to the Java object directly, cannot connect to the Java object directly. So I will be depending upon another class, okay, which is called as what? Which is called as object output stream. Okay, the basic functionality of file output stream. Okay, this is just a class. I will explain this to you briefly. File output stream is going to do what? It's just going to convert all the data into binary digits, into machine language. So in our previous classes we were just talking about the character data, right? Yes or no? We were dealing with character data, right? Hello.
Yes,
In
sir.
buffer reader or in buffer writer or print writer, mostly we were dealing with character data. So the character data will go as a character, with some conversions, and it is stored in the respective file. But here file output stream is very much advanced. Okay, it can transport images, it can transport audios, it can transport videos, and also it can transport characters also. But it cannot transport directly. It is going to, whatever you send, whatever the data that you want to deal with, everything will be converted to zeros and ones. So typically it will deal with the binary data. Everything will be converted to zeros and ones for the lightweight transport. Then the conversions happens accordingly. We will see this with the small example. No worries. So what I need is, I need to do, I need what? I need three things. I need to ensure that three things. Okay, one is what? I need file output stream class. Okay, this file output stream is going to have the absolute path of the dedicated file. It is going to have this absolute path of the dedicated file. I can say, okay, this file can be abc.scr. This is a naming convention. You can use any file name. So naming convention, since we are talking about serialization, I am using the extension as scr. This is the name of the file. Right, so this FOS is going to have the absolute path of the file. Okay, this OS will connect to FOS so that all the data, all the state of an object like name or what we call it as the age will be transported, will be converted to zeros and ones, and it will be stored inside the file. Okay, let us demonstrate with a small program. So let me say I have a source. Okay, let me create a new package org.serializable.test. I'm creating a simple package here. Okay, inside this I want to create a class. Okay, let me create a class. Okay, so student class, right? So we have a student class. So let us take some attributes here. Student can have student name, accepted. Student can have, age. Student can have what? Location. So I am taking these three fields. So these fields, these attributes are also called as what? What? State of an object, right? So state. So what I want to do, I want to initialize the values through a constructor. So I am generating the constructors using the fields. Select or generate. Let me generate setters and getters. Before that, I want to generate the all argument constructor. Generate constructor using fields. Okay, if I have an all argument constructor, I should also ensure that the no or constructor is also taken. Okay, and also I am overriding the toString method. Source toString. These things we have discussed already. No explanation is required. Are you able to understand this? Yes, no.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what
Yes, sir.
now what I am doing is now. Okay. So we will choose this location. Let me delete this. We'll choose this location d.files. I am taking another class where I am going to have the main method. Okay, so let me take the name of the class as the driver class. I am going to have the main method here. So how many classes I have so far? One is the student class, second one is the main class, which is called as driver class. So inside this driver class, if you just go by the diagrammatical representation, don't you think that first I need to create an object for FOS? FO is nothing but file output stream. Why file output stream? We are transmitting the data to a file, right? Object, the state of an object is converting it to the byte stream to put it in a file. Yes or no? That's why output. Okay, file output stream. So this file output stream will accept an absolute path. Okay, so here I want to take abc.scr. So this is the file where I want to store the state of an object. It is throwing an exception. I just want to dedicate this exception to the JVM. I'm just giving the throws declaration. Okay. After this, object output stream. Okay, OIS equal to new object output stream, okay, which is going to accept what file output stream. 1 minute. FOS. It is also throwing an exception. Let me declare the throws declaration. Okay. Now, so this object output stream has a method called write object method. Write object method. So you need to pass an object reference here. Okay, you need to pass an object reference here. So which object reference I want to pass? I want to pass the object reference of the student class. So let me create an object. I should create an object for student class, right? Student s1 equal to new student. So my student, as you know, I'm expecting 3 fields here. So name of the student, second one is age of the student, third one is what, location of the student. Okay, so this student, I'm expecting that this student object should be, the state of the student object should be converted to the stream of bytes and put it in the respective file to achieve serialization. Are you getting till now? Here I want to pass S1. So is this giving the justification to this diagram? Yes or no? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Now if I run this, so think and tell me, are we going to really achieve the things that I have just demonstrated? Think and tell me, if I hit run button, what are the things that may go wrong now? Let me run this. I do not want to break your. Let me run this. Now you see something here. What you are seeing? Java.io not serializable exception. Why we are getting this? Have you observed this? Why we are getting this?
We are not implementing
Correct.
the
Very good. Very good.
serializable.
Our student class is not the serializable class. Yes or no? So what I want to do? I want to what? I want to implement it to the serializable interface, which is part of Java.io package. After implementing this to the serialization interface, my student object is getting an eligibility to get transported over the network. The state of an object can be converted to the byte stream so that it can be put in a file or it can be transported over the network. If I run this code once again, so you don't see anything here, nothing is there. But if you go back and check this location, abc.scr is there. Now if I just open this, let me open this in the notepad. Are you able to see something? It is not even readable, right? Yes, no?
Yes,
This is a
sir.
machine understandable language. You don't read this. You cannot, it is not a human, humans cannot read this. This can be understood only by the machines. In our case, this can be understood only when you convert this data back into an object. Right? See, let me copy this, guys. For now, what has happened, according to my explanation, is you are able to copy the state of an object into the file. Yes or no? Right? Hello? You're able
Yes,
to
sir.
copy. State has been copied into a file, but it is not readable. To read this once again, you need to do what? You need to do the deserialization. So, deserialization means reading the content from the serialized file and converting back into an object once again. converting back to a string. Okay, what I'm trying to do is now we have something in the file. Now we have something in the so-called file called abc.s. abc dot something. It is not readable, so I'm just copying it here. I want to have a mechanism, okay, which is going to convert this back to the original object state. Okay, I want to use a class called file input stream. Here we were using file output stream. Now this time I want to use file input stream here, right? Which is going to do what? Which is going to read the data from the dedicated file, right? And will be converting into the byte of streams, okay? Object input stream, converting into the byte of streams, okay? And respective object will be created, which is what? Let me take any reference, any other reference variable s2. Now my object will have the values which were present during the serialization. You can extract the same values at the time of deserialization. You will understand why we are doing this. I will help you with that. Now try to understand the mechanism. Try to understand what is serialization and what is deserialization. Now you get what? You get name as Balaji. You get age as 25. You get location as Chennai. Okay, you need to remember, you need to utilize file input stream, object input stream, and there is a method called read object method, okay, which is going to return the state of an object. Have you understood the theory? No?
Yeah.
Reverse
Yes,
thing
sir.
is deserialization. Okay, let us go back to the theory. Uh, uh, the reverse process, converting the byte stream back into an object, is called deserialization. Making sense this one? Just the reverse process, nothing else. Right? So let us try to get back the state. Okay, what we require instead of file output stream, we require file input stream. Okay, let me take FIS equal to new file input stream. Right. So what is a location? The same location I should take. No, I should read data from this location. Yes or no? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Then object input stream, right? Object input stream OYS equal to new object input stream. Object input stream. So this will be expecting the file input stream reference. I'm sorry, OIS, object input stream. Okay, so we have now by using this reference variable, I can call the read object method. Okay, read, there is a method called read object. Okay, and the return type is what? So which object we are expecting? So we have transported the student object. So we should expect the student object only, no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
No?
Yes,
So
sir.
I need to store that in a student object with different reference. S2. But here if you see, it is asking us to typecast because read object will return, the return type of read object is always an object class. Why object class means today you will try to deserialize student object. Tomorrow it can be any other object. Tomorrow it can be an animal object. Day after tomorrow it can be account object. So the return type will always be an object because the Java will not know what kind of object it is returning. You will just typecast it to student because we are expecting it to be a student object. Are you able to understand? Why this typecasting is required is this is always the return type of this read object is always an object class. Because tomorrow you might be reading an object from a file which has the account class information. Day after tomorrow you might be reading you might be doing the deserialization for a different file which is related to animal class information. So that's why return type is object. You convert that accordingly through the typecasting. Are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
So if I just read this, if I just read the data out of it, S2, okay, now you will see what? You will see Balaji 25 location. But when you look at the file, this is not making any sense, isn't it? Right? Now you
Yes, sir.
understood the basic mechanism of serialization and deserialization. I will give you an example for the better understanding. So this is the basic mechanism of what? Basic mechanism of serializing an object and deserializing an object. Okay? Any questions so far?
No, sir.
Okay. Now there are few more things you need to understand, especially for the serialization and deserialization concept. For example, here are we dealing, how many attributes we are dealing with here? Student class has how many attributes? 3 attributes. So in our case, are we finding any sensitive information here? So what is the sensitive information that you find here? I mean, you find any information sensitive here? According to, is there any sensitive information here? Can I say location is a sensitive
No,
information?
sir.
I mean, just I'm asking you. If I ever have to ask you which is very sensitive information, if you need to pick one sensitive information, to a small extent, can I say location is a sensitive information? For girls, age is a sensitive information, yes or no? So if I do not want to, convert the, I do not want to store the data of a particular attribute in a file. Okay, I can use a keyword called transient keyword. Hello, for example, see, I am passing. In our example, I am passing name as Balaji, 20, ages 25, location as Chennai. Okay, but I am treating the age as a sensitive information, which means this data will never be serialized and put it in the or stored or will be stored in a file. In future, you may be dealing with bank accounts. Okay, password is a sensitive information. You cannot serialize that and put it in a file, right? So that someone can read it. Okay? If you want to mask it, if you want not to transport any value during the serialization, you can use a transient keyword. So when you use transient keyword and when you just run this once again, okay, the particular attribute will get a default value. I mean, I am using transient keyword for the integer. Int is what? Int is a data type, right? Int data type. What is the default value for int data type? 0, right? Okay. Let us say that if I am using the transient keyword for location, what is the default value for string? Null,
Null.
right? So I will be getting null here for location, which means this particular attribute will never get serialized for the security reasons. Transient means for security reasons. We'll understand this with some big example. Now, have you understood about the keyword? Transient keyword can be used only for variables. Let's keep in mind, it can be used only for variables. You do not want to serialize a particular attribute. Use transient keyword so that your data will be safe. It cannot be put in a external file so that someone can access it. Interview question. Hello? Making sense or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it will make sense. Okay, give me some time, it will make sense. And again, there are some other thing. For example, let us say that you are having a data like static int age equal to static int age. Okay, so do you think that this age is going to be part of the object or it is not part of the object? Static data is not part of the object. Somewhere you have discussed about. Remember that. Static
Yes,
data
sir.
is not part of the object. Only non-static data, only instance variables are part of the object. Static data are really not part of the object, which means it does not belong to the state of an object. And in this case, why we are getting here is, I am just again initializing it using a constructor. I'm just initializing it once again using a constructor. So, but the static data will not participate in the serialization. Static data will never.
So what if we keep final keyword?
Final will participate because final will participate. Why final will participate is, you are fixing the value. Means when you're using final, you need to fix one value. I will tell you. Good question. Let us say that I have something like string name equal to Balaji. Okay, string name1 equal to this. Okay, this is what? This is final. Okay, this is not final, this is final. This is not final, this is final, right? So when I say system dot, let me say, one minute. String name equal to Balaji. String name1 equal to the. I am taking the name1 variable as final. So when I say it is a final, system dot out dot println. Okay. So when you give name, so during the runtime, the value of name, the value inside the name attribute will get access during the runtime, not in the compile time. But for this name1 variable, okay, the value will be populated directly in the compile time only, since it is a final. So when the serialization happens, right? When the serialization will happen, serialization is going to happen at the runtime, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So the data is already available for the final variable in the compile time itself. We agree with this or not? Minute
Yes,
errors,
sir.
very very minor. I mean, you think logically, if if both are instance variable, it can be serialized, and if both are available in the runtime only, right? It can be serialized, and the output, I mean, in the file you get the output as Bala. I mean, in the file it will after deserialization. After deserialization, you get Balaji Sudhir. Right? If I say Balaji is transient, okay, after deserialization you will get null Sudhir. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Null Sudhir. But if I say, these are static. This is static. Okay. After deserialization, the static fields are already available. It is available in the compile time itself. Still you get what? Still you get Balaji and Sudhir. Able to follow. Let me remove this. The static fields are available in the compile time only, not in the runtime. Do you remember, like somewhere in the static concept, at the time of loading the byte code, the static variables are available. Do you remember that? Not in the runtime, it is all in the compile
Yes,
time only.
sir.
So that's why
Yes,
it
sir.
will be printed. Balaji will be printed, Sudhir will also be printed. Okay, not like this. I am not supposed to explain it like this. Let me take it like this. I will give you the code, all your doubts will be clear. Very good question. Let us say that I have two fields here. Okay, you have, let me say, declaration, and the next thing is what? Output. Declaration and output. So we are talking about we are talking from the deserialization perspective. Okay, when I say name is, when I say name one is Balaji and Sudhir, what will be the output during the serialization? You get Balaji and Sudhir, right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Balaji and Sudhir. Because deserialization will happen for all the instance variables, no doubts on that. Okay. Now, second question is, when I have one of the attributes as transient. Okay, what would be the output now? Don't you think that null and Sudhir?
Yes, sir.
Null Sudhir. Okay, and when you have one of the variable as static, okay, don't you think that when you have one of the variables as static, don't you think that the static fields are initialized, right? Which means Balaji and Sudhir again, yes or no? Let me take this
Yes,
is
sir.
static, let me take this is final, right? So the static variable is available in the compilation time, this final variable is also available in the compilation time, both are available in the compilation time, right? So I get Balaji and Sudhir, right? Okay, it will not go through serialization also. What I mean to say is, only instance variables will go through the process of serialization. But static variables and final variables, they don't go to the process of serialization, but still the data is available to the class level. They are available in the compile time. That's why you get the data just like that. Are able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Right. So these are the three things that you need to consider. Transient means, okay, pakka it is going to be what? The default value. Pakka default value. But for static variables, think that static variables are declared and initialized at the time of loading the bytecode. It is available in the compilation time. So it will not go through serialization, but the data is available. Okay, unlike final will not go through serialization, but the data is available. To get the data, same data. No?
Sir, if it doesn't go to serializable, then how it will print on file?
It is not extracting from the file. That's what I'm trying to say. It is not extracting from the file. You see,
Okay, it is extracting
from the
directly from the
directly from the class itself.
Okay, okay, okay.
You see this example, a good question again. Don't make any changes here. Let me remove final here. The moment you start putting static here, okay, the data will not be serialized, but the data is getting extracted directly from the class itself. Okay, only for transient will.
Okay, it will change in the runtime, right?
I mean, it depends upon if you are changing the data parallelly, it will change the runtime. See,
Okay.
don't get any confused. Let us understand this to the concept of object. Let us say you have the name as Balaji, you have the age as 25. Okay, this is string, right? This is static in template. Okay. Now tell me, when I create an object for the student class, considering these two variables, only name will be part of student, right? I mean object, right? So instance variables will be part of
Yes,
object,
sir.
right? Static
Yes,
variable
sir.
will be outside the object, right? It is outside the object. Age is outside the object. So this will go to the serialization. At the time of retrieving data, you might be thinking that this is also part of deserialization, but it is not. It is actually from the class itself. Data is already available in the class itself. Making sense now?
Yes, sir.
You have any doubts? Take pen and paper and do it. Okay, write one program and try to include all the combinations. These things will be great. Okay, my second requirement. Okay, let me. I will send this. I will send this for you. Okay, I will send this PNG for your reference today. Now look at this. Now let us understand this actual uses. Now let us say that I have I have two Java applications. Okay, this is Java application one. Application one. Understand this. Understand the requirement. This Java application two. Two different applications. Okay. So in the morning time, my Java application one gets activated. Okay, sir. The Java application gets activated in the morning time, and it places some data through the serialization inside a file. It can be any data. It can be data related to a student class. Okay, it is sending a data. It is sending a data related to student class. After sending the data, okay, it stops functioning. Evening time, my application 2 in the evening time it starts running. This application 2 will consume the data from the common file. It consumes data from the common file. Okay, through deserialization, it performs some manipulations on this data. It performs some manipulation. Okay, you might be giving a state of an object which has the name, which has the age, okay, which has something like location. Okay, so you place all this information in the through the process of serialization. Java application 1 will places the information, but Java application 2 will consume this information and it performs some manipulations, right? some kind of manipulations, some kind of manipulations. So now, are you seeing the? Are you seeing something here? I mean, two applications are communicating with a common file. You're able to see someone is placing some data. So means one application is placing some data, which is called a sender, okay? And another application is I know consuming data, which is called as what receiver, and is performing some manipulation. So this is the simple fundamental of what distributed application. This is how the basic functionality of what distributed application. For example, see guys, you use Flipkart, right? Amazon service, right? Flipkart, right? So with the help of Flipkart, you place orders, right? After placing orders, okay, this service will communicated to will get communicated to payment service, right? And the payment service will communicate to what? The order service, right? You see the chain here. Flipkart is a different system. By using this system, we place orders. But payment service is what? Payment service is a different system again. And order service is a different system again. Are able to follow? Everything is a different system. Combinedly, we call it as what? A distributed system. Because it will be having a common database so that this database will help it out to do what? To do the payment service, to do the after the payment. Okay, once the payment is successful, what it does, okay, it consumes order service will consumes a message that the payment is successful, and it starts couriering the things. So they use a common database here, common database. With the help, I mean, this system is called as what the distributed system or distributed application. So we are just going to understand this with the basic to this Java application. Let me write the program, and you will, if you have any doubts, you ask me questions. Okay. So let me remove all this. Remove this. Let me remove this package. Let me create a new package. File new package org.test.application. So I am taking a package as application package. Instead of application package, I am taking a dedicated class called student class. Okay. I want to keep my student class getting implemented to implements serializable interface. I will be taking different fields. That's why I'm taking the new class. So in my student class, I'm going to have the name of the student name, then integer student age, okay, and string student location, okay, and again string account number, again string IFSC code, again string branch. Okay, how many attributes I have? 6 attributes. Okay, let me quickly generate the constructors for this. What I am doing, source, generate constructors using fields, and I am also supposed to generate what? I am also supposed to generate a no-or constructor, right? And getters and setters. Source, generate getters and setters. Okay, then generate toString method. Perfect. So I want to what? I want to send the state of this object into a file, right? So let me create another main class. Okay, let me create a main class. New class. I'm taking this class as the sender class. Name of the class is sender class. So I want to create a student object. Student s1 equal to new student. Okay. Just help me with the order. Okay. What is first one is name, age, location, account number, and you have what? You have IFSC code. Help me with this order. Let me take the student name as Balaji. age as 25. What is the third field? Location, right?
Location.
Chennai. What is the fourth field? Account number, right?
Account.
Account number 1234. What is the fifth field? IFSC code, right?
IFS.
IFSC code
Branch.
IFSC 123. Second one is branch name. Let me take the name of the branches. Okay. So I have all the information in the S1 student object. This is the sender application. So what I want to do, file output stream, right? To send the to serialize this so serialize the to perform the serialization, I need to use file output stream FOS equal to new file output stream. Okay. So what is the location that we can take? Let me remove this. The same location I am taking. Here I am giving the extension as student.scl as source declaration. Okay, next object output stream. Object output stream OOS equal to new object output stream file output stream. Okay, after this OOS dot write object, right? Write object of S1. Okay. So far it is good now. I will assume that so this is the sender application. This is one of the Java application. This is what? This is one Java application. Because it has a main method, I am treating it as one Java application. Java application which is sending the data, sending the student information or sending the state of the student to a particular file called student.server. Okay, if you run this piece of code, don't you think that all the information will be stored in this file? I mean,
Yes,
everything is serialized, right? Every data is serialized, right? Now keep it. I want to take another application. Okay, if I want to take another, if I want to mimic another application, let me say. Okay, before that, my another application will do what? My another application will extract only the account related information. What are the account related, banking related information here? According to you, what are the attributes that is related to banking information?
account number,
IFSC code and branch, right? So I am creating another Pojo class, Pojo class, okay, by the name of account details, okay, which is going to have the three fields that I have just mentioned. This is an helper class, okay. Treat it as an helper class, not the serializable class. So here I am taking three attributes: string account name, string IFSC code, string the location, branch location. Okay. For this also I am taking source generates constructor using fields. Source generate setters and getters. Okay, source generate toString method. Okay. So I'm just taking, this is an helper class. Okay, this is an helper class. I will tell you why this is required. So we have one main method. Now one main method is there inside the sender class. So I want to take another main method, and I want to take a class with another main method, and I want to name this class as receiver, which has the main method. Okay, I am treating this as another Java application. For simplicity, I am doing like this. Another Java application which consumes data from what? Data from the serialized file. So to consume data, which is the stream that we have to use? File input stream, right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
File input stream FIS equal to new file input stream. Okay. From which location we want to consume data? We know that already, right? So this is the location. So this is the location. student.java. Okay, after doing this, I need to handle these exceptions. I'm just throwing it, file not found exception. Then object input stream, right? Object input stream OIS equal to new object input stream object input stream FIS. Okay. So with the help of this reference, I do the deserialization. I am getting the state of an object from the dedicated file, right? So read object method is there. Okay, with the return type is object type. So I'm getting what? I'm getting the student object. So I'm taking student s1 equal to, I'm reading the data from the server, I'm casting it to student. Okay, let me add throws IO exception, add throws class not found exception, right? So what I want to do, so now don't you think that just improve your imagination here? So I have one Java application as sender and I have another application as receiver. So my sender is transmitting, my sender is serialization, doing the serialization, like student object is getting serialized, right? Student object is getting serialized and it is getting transported to a file, right? Sender has done its job. Sender has successfully done its job. So receiver, what receiver is doing? Receiver is collecting this information. Receiver is collecting this information. After collecting information, I want to do what? I just want to extract the account related information, not the student details. Are you able to get what I'm trying to say? So my student
Yes.
object has account related information also. I just want to extract that. I do not have to worry about the student data. I just want to extract the account data and keep it in a separate file. Or I can just display in the console for simplicity. What I can do here, okay? Now don't you think that we have the, if I print S1, S1 is going to have all the student object. I just print it. Don't you think that I will get access to all the student object, right? File not found. Implement serializable.
The student.scr.
Which one? Student dot?
File input
Okay,
stream
okay. Student dot
student.scr.
scr. Correct. Good observation. Okay. Now let me print system.out.println s1. Okay, you get access to all the, I mean this s1 reference has access to all the, but I just want to, I want to collect the account related information, right? So I have already created a class for account details, right? Let me create an object for account details. Account details a d equal to new account details. I am creating an object for account details. What I am doing, I am setting the values. ad dot set account name. I'm setting the values by getting it from the student reference. S1 dot get, what is it? Account name, right? Account name means I'm referring to account name. Account name means I can take the of account name. Let me take account number here. Take account number here because we have account number in that file. That's the reason why. Let me take account number. Take account number. Account number. Account number. Okay, let me assume that account name is the account number. Let us assume that account name, variable names are messy because I want to change all the constructors. Let me that account name is what? Account number. So get account number. Okay. So ad dot set. I want to set the values of location from where? By collecting the location information from the student object. So get branch location. Okay. So ad dot, what else we have? Account IFSC, right? Set IFSC. I will be getting ISFTC from the student object, get IFS. So don't you think that my student object is helping me to get the data, specific data from the student class, like account number, branch name, and IFSC code, and setting it to the account details class? Hello?
Yes, sir.
First, I collected the student information. Then I am making use of this helper class, and I am just getting the specific information that I wanted. Okay, now if I print the account details here, AD, so don't you think that aren't we able to get only the account related information? I mean, account name is, it's not account name, it's account number. By accidentally I have taken account name, IFSC code, and location, branch location. Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
So don't you think that this is one of the manipulation where two Java application is depending upon one common file, so which is called as what? Which is called as the student.serve file, right? And the sender application is one Java application and the receiver application is another Java application. The job of the sender application is to put the serialized data into your file. Let's say that it is doing this in the morning time. So evening time, my receiver application is consuming the data and just extracting the account related information. Don't you think that here the serialization and the deserialization is playing the major role here on one common file?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is one of the fundamentals of intercommunication between two Java applications. One of the fundamentals. Are able to understand the basic functionality of the Java distributed application. I can combinedly call this as what? One distributed system. Even though we are dealing with same Java application, distributed system. So today we are able to do this. Like tomorrow we can also able to do what? If you want, you can do manipulations on each and every attribute on student. Like, for example, if I want to do manipulation on student object itself, what I can do? Okay. So I have extracted the student data. Okay. What I want to do? I want to do like s1 dot get name dot to uppercase. I can do manipulations like to uppercase or to. I can do manipulations on my student name. So which is doing the manipulations? Don't you think that a receiver application is doing the manipulations? Or if I want, I can concat. I can create an email address like Gmail. I can append gmail.com. Which is doing this manipulation? Don't you think the receiver application is doing this kind of manipulation? Hello? Have you
Yes, sir.
understood? Sending, having one common file so that two applications are communicating not directly but through this common file, right? Through this common they are communicating not directly but through the common file. So it is not a straightforward communication. This concept is called as what? An asynchronous communication, which means this application 1 will just post the data. Application 2, based upon its time, it can consume the data. So it is like not a direct, it's not like a phone call. Phone call means I need to talk to, we both has to establish a connection together and we are on live. So it is a synchronous communication. I talk, you talk. But it is just like the messaging app, right? So you post a message and based upon the time the receiver reads it, right? It is not have to be in live. Interaction cannot be live. It can be live, but you have an option to read it later, right? I will understand.
Yes, sir.
I will give you tomorrow. I will give you better understanding. Today, just try to replicate this code. Okay?